Hey guys, how are you? Link here, and I've got a really good delivery this morning. Really excited. So I'll show you, because we've been waiting for a plastic version of this kit forever. The Nixe. It's one of the much awaited plastic kits, probably for, almost all time, I'll say, for the Maschinen Krieger property. I wanted to do two quick things. I'm going to show you the kit really quick, but I also want to give you some extra value and share some insights, some background into the history, very briefly, about this kit and why it's kind of special. Now, why can I do that? I'm uniquely, I guess, qualified to speak about the Maschinen Krieger property because I work for them. I've done a number of the studio models, I wrote a number of the backstories. I've been very deeply involved with them for a number of years. That's kind of cool, right? And I'm the only English speaker on the team and the only guy doing these YouTube videos. So, qualified, done. With this kit, it's not 100% a Koyokama Sensei original. It was put together based on his concept art, and they put together like a different arms and legs with a body of the Fliege model. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that one. There's a couple of space ones. It was the first of the Strahl side of guys that went into space. It's the one with the TV screen looking window on the front, and that's what this one kind of keeps, right? It does work with the Maschinen Krieger property. I mean, with the number of the suits, we sent them up. They were fighting on the Earth. We sent them up to the moon. They developed, they advanced in complexity once they were up there. And then we brought them back to Earth. If you've got the recent Raptor, or Rappoon, the reconnaissance version of the Raptor, that's based exactly on that. The Super AFS, the standard one, went up to space. It became the Snake Eye through development. And then we brought that back to Earth. They made the land version of it, which became the Raptor. The Nixe is actually that. It's the development of the Strahl side, brought back to Earth and then producing a land version. One of the guys then put together a couple of kits and made a garage kit of it that was available through Japan Tokyo Wonder Festival for a couple of years. Now, it became very difficult to get a hold of because the guy who made the master pattern of the kit, there was a little bit of, argy-bargy there with the IP holder. So it became unavailable, and then it was very much sought after. Now, they've made friends again, and I guess that's kind of why then it was allowed to be made into a plastic kit. Now, the name is also interesting too. The original gentleman who made the garage kit version called it the Nixe, N-I-X-I-E, and there's various reasons for that. Koyokama Sensei hated the name because in Japanese it sounds a little bit like Nikukusai, which means stinky meat. Which is pretty funny, right? So he, in proper George Lucas IP owner style, changed the name to Nixe, and that's what we have now. Okay, that was probably a little bit too long, but I thought you guys, some of you guys who are into the Maschinen Krieger property, I thought you might like a bit of background story to it, and I like it too. There's the history of the universe, but then there's also the history of the genre, which is also pretty nifty. Okay. But enough! Get on with cracking open the box and making wisecracks, guy. Let's go!
Alrighty, enough with the hand waving, Painter Monkey. Get on with the show. So we'll crack the box open for you. This one, now look at that. Yokoyama-san and I always had this joke that, was his joke and I stole it, that his models, really, for the price, we're buying this beautiful artwork and it comes with a free kit. And he loved that joke. And you see, this is a brand new one. He signed it 2018. And this is one of my favorites. Now, it might be that just everyone becomes my new favorite because it's new, but I particularly like how this one has been put together. It's just beautiful, isn't it? It's a super classic Ma.K paint scheme. I've got a couple of these kits. I do want to do this one, but I'm going to reach out to you guys and especially listen to my audience base and tell me which version you'd like to see. But this is one I would like to have a go at. A couple more demos on the suggested paint scheme for the kit and a little bit of a backstory. So a lot of them are in Japanese now, but these are the cheaper production ones. That's why there's nothing on the back. But for cost performance and to get this awesome kit into our hands, I am happy. We'll pop it open and I'll show you the bags and then I'll quickly pop them open to show you what we get. The Nixe specific ones are at the top. and then we'll go back through, and quite a volume of them will probably be Gustav and Melusine. Merugine in Japanese. And the instructions, yep. So I'll pop them open so you don't get all the crinkles. First bag open, and we've got 2 sprues joined here. One is specific for the Nixe. It'll be this cockpit, the window, and it's got a really cool join, like what would we call it? The assembly here that will clip up into the roof. It will probably make it very easy to install this after you've done all of the painting. I love it that the Maschinen Krieger designers, especially Seto-san, the master pattern maker, he's always thinking about very cool things like that because, you know, very much a keen model maker himself. And cores parts. We've seen cores come up. It's very difficult to read because this is clear. But cores parts have been coming up more and more. It is a bit of a spoiler that a spoiler / sneak preview. We know we're going to be getting that very soon. Second bag, we've got some specific Nixe parts here. This is the back armor piece, and these look like, these look like the sound suppressor units that we used on the Night Stalkers before. And it looks like there's a bit of cross-pollination of there between the sides. That's nifty. This one, as I mentioned before, we've seen cores a couple of times. You guys can see it. Here we have it. The cores sprues. So eventually we know we're going to get our cores. And as I was mentioning in my little preamble there, the cores is one of the spacesuits that predates in the the storyline, predates the Nixe, and that was the space version. And I'm super looking forward to that. Space versions is so much fun to work on. This one's Nixe specific. It's the canopy there, and it's very unique to this design. So very much looking forward to this one. Love that bubble canopy look, complete with the clear spot in the middle. Very nifty. More cores interior here. Now I don't think we can't make a full cores with this kit. Sadly, it's not included, but enough pieces now. We know it's done. We're just waiting for it to come into our hands, right? Cool. Third bag. A lot of the volume, the bulk of this kit will be Gustav. And the Gustav will be, I'd say, like the arms and the legs, because that was the base unit that all of these were built on. They scaled it up from the original SF3D Nito series, and the fit is awesome. I really like how these are put together. Making the studio versions, we didn't need to do many modifications. They go together so well. The arms and the hand units, the more powerful gun as part of the Gustav armor. So if you've made the Gustav before, this has been out for a few years. Very nicely put together. This was put together after they'd made a bunch of money from making the AFS series, so really high quality tooling. And as expected, to fit with the other parts, the PC tooling from the Gustav, and goes together really well. I'll show you guys some more tips. I've been experimenting with different ways to paint this stuff. In the tutorials that I'll do next, I'll show you some of the stuff I've been experimenting with. Despite making so many of these models, I'm still learning new ways to improve them, and I'll share that shortly. Last bag, we've got a Nixe specific pilot, and this one's very nicely put together. It's very cool. See how it's separate? We've got a separate upper body. The face is on a separate unit, and the helmet is one piece and a slide mold. Now, why I'm excited about that is we can paint them separately. I know I often talk about painting things all together, but with figures, I mean, you do want to paint and maybe prime your face differently to the helmet, etc. So this might be an opportunity for me to do a tutorial on face painting and armor painting separately, and then putting this together because he's visible in the cockpit. That could be really cool. If you like the sound of that, please let me know in the comments below. Would very much like to hear from you. Other parts is this is another one. It's a sneak preview of what we can expect. And the final runner is off a Melusine, which we haven't seen in its entirety yet, a newly tooled Melusine. We've seen some of these parts before in the Leopard that was released last year, but we're starting to see more and more of these released together. That's very nifty. Different style gun and a couple of other parts. And last two things in there is we have the instructions with the beautiful box art represented there for us. Nice run through. These are nice and simple to make. If you use the more complicated kits with a very high part count, they're often slightly more difficult than, say, Gunpla or Bandai products. But this Gustav series and the different Strahl suits go together very well. Low part count, a lot of fun. You get a suit together very quickly. This is one of the parts I often find a little bit tedious, the putting the hands together. But it is cool that you get to, you know, they're more articulated, so you can pose them slightly. And it'll be good to hold the Panzerfaust, which I didn't quite show. Sorry guys, I'll pop that open in a sec. And here we go, the suggested paint scheme going through. Now I'm going to ask you guys, I've got 2 paint schemes that I'm looking at. And I was going to throw this out there, and I'll ask for feedback. I might set up a poll. There's 2 that I'm thinking of doing. I did a red and white version for the Weathering magazine called Dust. The Dust version in Splinter Camo, and that was very popular. So I could show you how I produced that model, or I could take you through the steps and show you how this studio version would have been put together. Because looking at it, I can just eyeball this and I know the paints and steps that would have been done on this guy. So do let me know, see which version you would like to see and a tutorial on it, and I'll put that together for you. Lastly, I forgot to show this one. They come with the Gustav's double set of Panzerfaust. He's really cool, always super useful to have with these kits. Okay, last thing, the Maschinen Krieger kits always have these really nifty fun decals. And there's some classics in here for the Strahl side. That Trainer Yellow, we would call it in the studio. It's an ultra classic. They got some red in there, some shark mouth. The Red Devil guy is a classic. The eyes, these are, well, they've been used before, but they're pretty cool. This one to me looks new. It's a mermaid, I guess. That's a new one, very nifty. Well done, guys. Skull and Crossbones there is very cool too. That's another old one that's been brought back. So very cool. And for some reason, I really love the iconography on the Panzerfaust decals. They always look really nifty. Okay, that's enough for it today. Please do let me know which of the paint schemes you might like to see a tutorial on. And don't forget to subscribe so you can see further steps on this. Cheers guys, thanks, bye. I get my Star Wars kits, paints, and tools from my local hobby shop, Hobbyco. And let's do our part, support local, and check them out. If you're also in Australia, get your local hobby shop to contact Ryan at Hobbyco and they will get Star Wars in for you. Cool, right? Really special thanks to the Paint on Plastic co-producers, Ivan, MB Grant, Con, Jack, Simon, Robert, MC, Kelso, and Kevin. Thanks guys. Big shout out to the Paint on Plastic supporter community who helped make all of this stuff happen. I couldn't be doing it without you artists supporting this artist. Thank you very much guys, sincerely.